What's up, guys? Welcome to Champion Picks. I'm Jared Champion, and this edition of Champion Picks is our NFL Week 8 DRAFTKiNGS lineups. I'm going to do something a little bit different this week. Usually I just give you players that I like. I'm actually going to pick some specific lineups. That way that we can track them and keep up with how good we're doing. I had a good week last week, and the lineup that I selected out of the players that I put on this channel scored 163 points. It cashed in every single tournament and 50-50 that it was played in. So it's definitely a good lineup, and we're looking to go back-to-back on this week. Let's take a look at what we had. I'm not going to show you the stack. The main stack that I scored with was Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Tevin Coleman. And then Broncos defense last night. DeMarco Murray was the chalk. Jacquez Rodgers was the best cheat back. I had both of them. The worst play was Hunter Henry. He only scored me like 3 points in my tight end, but it didn't kill me. I had James White as my flex, and I think he was a 11.2 points at 14, so it wasn't crazy, but it was decent enough. And then Willie Snead was another cheap play at 1,500, and he scored me 17.7. So all in all, a pretty good week. Jacquez was probably my best play at 20 points at 4.3K, and then Julio was a chalk. He did score you 30, but he cost a lot. So let's check out the lineup that we're rolling in with this week. Starting quarterback, we're going to go with Aaron Rodgers. This game's on turf. I feel like Green Bay's offense is getting better and better as the games go on, and Atlanta's going to score a lot. So Green Bay is going to have to keep up with this game, and I really like Aaron Rodgers. And I stacked him this week with Ty Montgomery. Ty Montgomery's coming off 2 20-point DraftKings weeks, and Aaron Rodgers, I think he had like 10 targets last week, and Aaron Rodgers has been looking his way a lot. So Aaron Rodgers is another of those guys like Tom Brady that just throws whoever's open, so you can get some good DraftKings points off his wide receivers. Devontae Freeman, now that Tevin Coleman's hurt, he's going to have the main workload. I like him in this game. I feel like Atlanta at home is going to want to use their running game to open up that pass. Matt Forte, last week Matt Forte was complaining about not getting carries. They gave him carries. He ran all over. So I think that playing the bad Cleveland defense, Matt Forte is going to have another good week. Alshon Jeffrey, this is a really good play because Jay Cutler's coming back, and Alshon hadn't done much all year, so I don't think he's going to be very highly owned. They play on Monday, and if you know anything about the Bears, Jay Cutler and Alshon Jeffrey are pretty much the only good part of the team. They've had good SPACs out of Jordan Howard this year, but Jay Cutler's going to have to throw Alshon Jeffrey a lot of balls if they want to try to beat Minnesota. And then we have Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel Sanders is 9th overall in all targets this year, and Simeon looked pretty good on Monday night, and I think the Broncos are going to have a game plan against the Chargers. They're going to have to move the ball a lot more effectively because the Chargers were able to score on that good Broncos defense last week. So if the Broncos want to keep up, they're going to have to get that short pass game going. So I really like Emmanuel Sanders in this PPR format. And then Jack Doyle at 3,500. I don't know how he's not more expensive yet. Like, he's like Andrew Luck's favorite target in the red zone. He's been catching a lot of balls at home versus Kansas City. Kansas City cornerbacks can cover really well, but they tend to blitz a lot on 2nd and 3rd down. So dump offs to the tight end will be there. So I like that play. And then Michael Thomas for New Orleans. He is their #1 target at home versus Seattle. I don't expect New Orleans to score a whole lot here. Seattle's defense is good, but I expect Michael Thomas to be able to catch a lot of slants because I feel like their slant game is going to be there for Drew Brees because they do like to play a lot of man-to-man. So Michael Thomas is that big body receiver that can, screen some people off while he's catching the balls. And then the Jets defense. So I like the Jets defense versus Cleveland because, Cleveland's situation is just a mess. They're going through another quarterback, all those injuries. So we'll see if we can't get some turnovers, maybe some touchdowns from the Jets defense. All right, let's take a look at the second lineup we got going. Ryan Fitzpatrick versus Cleveland. Stat I got for you for Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think he's 5-1 career against Cleveland, and he averages 2.2 touchdowns versus Cleveland. And so I like stacking Fitzpatrick with Brandon Marshall this week. Second at running back, we're going to go Devontae Booker. If you didn't watch the game on Monday, Devontae Booker, C.J. Anderson had a great game, but so did Devontae Booker, and they're not the same back. And I feel like the game plan versus San Diego is going to be a little bit different than they played last time because they just tried to run the ball, and San Diego stuffed it. So I think Booker, being the smaller, more pass-happy back, is going to be in the game a little bit more than he was last week. And last week he still was able to get you, I think it was like 19 DraftKings points. So Booker is definitely a play that I like. And then I have James White for New England. He's the catching back, and Buffalo's run defense is good, so I think they're going to be in a lot of shotgun, throwing some short passes, dinks, dunks. Their run defense is good, so James White will be in instead of LeGarrette Blount, so I like that play at 4,800. We've got Cole Beasley at 4,800. He's a target monster, and if Dallas is going to beat Philadelphia, Philadelphia's going to be queuing into the run. They have a good defense. They have a good run defense. Cole Beasley at the slot with Des Bryant coming back. I feel like it's going to take a lot of pressure off him with not Cole Beasley should have a great game this week in the slot again. T.Y. Hilton leading the league in targets at home for Indianapolis. I really don't have to say anymore. He's T.Y. Hilton. He's getting the most balls thrown to him, and he's still not the most expensive receiver, so you got to take him. It's just pure volume. We already talked about Brandon Marshall. Cameron Brate. Seeing that they're playing at Oakland, and Oakland has a terrible pass defense, I feel like Jameis Winston's going to be able to throw a lot real good, so that's why I have Cameron Brate and Mike Evans. So Mike Evans has been Jameis Winston's go-to guy to get drives down the field, but when they get stuck in the red zone, Jameis has thrown to Cameron Brate. He has a two red zone touchdown game this year, so I like Cameron Brate as the bailout for Winston, and I like Mike Evans for the main feeder that's going to be happening at Tampa Bay. They're just going to feed him the ball. And then I run the Jets defense again just because of the matchup and how cheap they are. So guys, I appreciate the support. We had a free pick come out today, so if you can check that out, it's a hockey play. So let's take the man's money, guys. Let's all make some free money. You can click my fantasy video right there and check out my normal fantasy pickups for this week. Click the subscribe button. I'm like one sub away from 500, guys, so that would be super awesome if I could hit that 500 mark tonight. All right, guys, good luck. Have fun watching the World Series tonight, and have a good week in fantasy.